Hello dear humans, I just wanted to check in with a bit of an overdue reading. Just over a week ago I was up at the lovely spirit shop in Lughnasadh doing some readings and it was lovely. Second time I've been up there, thank you very much spirit shop and Tadia and all the lovely people that I've done readings for the last couple of times. It was for the full moon in Aquarius and it was also Mercury retrograde was ending and there was, all sorts of things going on. It was also Lughnasadh. Lughnasadh is one of the Celtic pagan festivals, and that was on the 1st of August. Now, I actually pulled a card for that back on the 1st of August and never got around to making a post because life is a bit chaotic at the moment and I only have so many spoons. But the card that I pulled, I still decided I wanted to talk about because it was because Lughnasadh is basically celebrating the first harvest. It's celebrating the story is about the Celtic god Lu and how his foster mother Tolchu created the land and all that was able to be harvested from it to keep people alive and community when you harvest and so on and so forth. And when she died from exhaustion, he started these sort of games, not Olympic games, but like this games sort of celebration of her every year. That is a really lovely way to approach this time of year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. Down south, they were heading into Imbolc. But there's still this sense of birthing, whether it's, reaping reaping the first harvest of what you've sown here, and in the other side of the world, it's seeing what actually springs up. Think of perennials, things that actually have also been seeded, but from many months before. So it's a different kind of harvesting action, if you like, or blossoming versus harvesting, but both from seeding. And the card that I pulled from the lovely Sharon Blackie Rooted Woman Oracle, because I love it, was initiation. And I thought that was quite interesting because the feeling I got, I mean, aside from the fact that she was in a wheat field, there's that feeling of, especially at night time as well with the bats, and there's this feeling of sort of second sight, listening, navigating, like preparing for that navigation in a slightly unclear space and trusting in what you've sown and what you're reaping. Now, having done this reading way after the 1st of August, but we're now pretty much almost exactly halfway between the two festivals, Lughnasadh, and then coming into Mabon on the 22nd of September, which is also the Autumn Equinox or the Spring Equinox for those down south. So the fact that we're in the middle of this festival, like sort of in the middle, and we've got the new moon in Virgo on Saturday, and we have Mercury that's gone direct, and Mercury rules Virgo. So heading into Virgo season on Saturday, the new moon, which is all about setting intentions and so on, is going to be a really interesting one as we head into eclipse season. Virgo is grounded. There's a bit of a hermit energy, shall we say, to Virgos. Not in a removing themselves from the world way, but in a way that gives them space and time to think. And I think using that sort of energy can be quite nice to think of going into this new moon. Now, what I did for a quick little reading for this now is a card from the 1st of August until now, where we are now, and what sort of energy we can take through into the new moon in Virgo on Saturday. So interestingly, based on having this intuition card, we've got the Chariot is what the energy was from that 1st of August time. And this way or that way, the Chariot obviously reminds us that we are actually ready to move forward, but we were also in Mercury retrograde at the time back on the 1st of August. And so it was that real message to sort of hold back, you know, get everything ready, but just keep it with you, just keep it close just a little bit longer. So it's like in the chariot, hold the reins, you know, and the horses are kind of pointing in different directions, like find the balance, observe the balance, feel the push and pull with the ideas or the whatever it was that you were working on at the time, or things that were happening in your life at the time. Just resting in that for a moment and just feeling that tug and finding out how to get them to move together, and that both actions are valid, but how can you drive them together and be comfortable and grounded in that seat. Where it's brought us is the moon and now I'm going to say it wrong, intuition. So we've gone from initiation to intuition, and that beautiful, you know, heading into, obviously not a full moon, but heading into a new moon, this moon energy of that really, like, again, as I say, that sort of hermit energy in a way. I always see a bit of a hermit energy in the moon in some way. There's it's not a stillness, there is a movement though, so it's not there is moving and trusting. Again, that bat energy, it feels like moving and following that, what you can sort of see and feel, but be careful of following what looks too obvious, because that you know, there are shadows, same as with what the bats create. There are shadows, and we need to just stay aware. But there's a beautiful energy in the moon to lead us towards what we're moving towards is the Three of Cups, but we also have the Ten of Swords. I almost didn't pull the second card, but I was like, I just got a feeling that we need to pull something else for this one. And yeah, so Three of Cups, obviously cups is again emotions, but there is this sense of real joy and community, but within that Virgo energy, within that grounded, contemplative, knowing how to communicate with that Mercury, which is now direct, and Mercury ruling Virgo has this lovely feeling of well, balance, actually, coming back to, again, you know, the wild and the tame in the moon card, and the left and the right, the subconscious and the conscious, and the guiding those energies from the chariot card. It really feels like celebrating that harvest, you know, and the second harvest is what happens at equinox as we move towards that, celebrating in a way that feels weighted, and this Ten of Swords feels like there's a bit of a, through that action, through that joy, there is actually a letting go. There's a deep letting go of old patterns, old ways of thinking, old ways of reacting. In one of my moon musings that I did about Lughnasadh last year, well actually the year before, but I did the video for it last year. I've been thinking to reshare that. I talked about, I had this philosophical analogy about Lego, and you know, the creativity of how Lego works, and that, you know, that taking apart and putting back together. Maybe even thinking back to the chariot, you know, what happens when the two thoughts split and then pull back together. And with eclipse season, you know, it's like closing your eyes and opening them again and seeing things anew, seeing things fresh. Something actually shifts in that moment where the shadow blinks across. So yeah, that was just a quick little one I wanted to pop in and chat about. If any of you saw the video that I just put up about my art sale, because I'm having an art sale if you're interested, yes, I'm wearing the same clothes, and yes, I'm sitting in the same spot, because I am. And everything has to happen at once when there's energy. All right, as always, you can book your own reading from 5 minutes to an hour, private readings or events. I do most of readings online, but if you are in the local area, it is also possible to do readings in person. So head to the link tree, the booking form is there, or you can just send me an email as well if you have any questions. Okay, happy Virgo season as we head into it on the weekend, and happy new moon in Virgo. Ciao for now.